close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
So hello folks, this is me Aman, and today I'm back again with another video. So in this video I'll be talking about how to make a calculator with the help of HTML, CSS and JAVASCRIpt. Okay, so basically this video is the part 1 of the calculator making series, and in this video I'll be talking about the HTML and the styling part of the calculator. And in the part 2 of the series I'll be covering the JavaScript part, that how to make our calculator functional. So if I talk about this particular video, the part 1, make sure that you watch the whole video, because I'll be covering a very useful concept of CSS, and that is grid. Okay, and also in the another part, the part 2 of the series, I'll be covering the classes and OOPS concept. Okay, object oriented programming. Okay, so stay with me, watch the whole video till the end. And also I have put the code of the calculator, the whole code of the calculator on my GitHub page, and I will put my GitHub account link on the description box of this video. And also I have uploaded that calculator on the GitHub server, and I will also put that link on the description, so you can check out the code as well as the calculator on yourself if you stuck at somewhere. Okay, so yes, with that being said, let's get started. But before that, consider subscribing to my channel, and also if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Okay, so yes, let's get into the tutorial then. So here now I am in my laptop screen, and first what I will do is I will create the folder structure in command prompt. So for that, press Windows R and open your command prompt, and in here I will go to first to my E drive, and in E drive I will create a directory. And to know how to use the command prompt, I have made a video on my channel. I will put the link on my description box of this video, so you can watch that as well. So for creating the folder, I will type md and I will name it calculator, and I will move to in calculator directory by change directory. Now I am in my calculator folder, and in here first I will create a file index.html. okay, and also a folder by the name of JavaScript, and I will move to JavaScript folder by cd for change the directory. And in JavaScript folder I will create a file, the empty js.js file with the name of js.js. okay, and now I will again go to my calculator folder by tapping cd ... It will move one step backward, and now in here I will create my style folder. So for that, just type md for make directory and style, And in here first I will go to my style folder by cd style, and now in here I'll be using SAS for my styling purpose. Okay, so in here I will create a file by the name of style.scss. For that I'll have to first type cd dot forward arrow key and then style.scss. okay, and I'll also create another file in a style that by the name of first I will have to type cd dot forward arrow key and the name of the file will be config.scss. And now we have created our folder structure properly, and I will go one step backward to my calculator folder, and now I will open it with my Visual Studio Code. So now it will open our calculator. So now you can see that we are in our folder structure. We have our index.html, we have our style folder in which we have style.sass, and in JavaScript we have js.js. So we are all done with the folder structure, and make sure that if you use SAS instead of CSS, you have your live SAS compile installed in your Visual Studio Code. Okay, so first of all I will go to my index.html, and in here I will first create the boilerplate, the basic boilerplate, by typing exclamation mark and enter, and I will name the title as calculator. Okay, and now in body, first let me show you the final project that looks like this. So what we have is we will be using grid in it. Okay, so we will be using, like, we'll have 1 2 3 4 5 6 rows and 1 2 3 4 columns in our grid system. Okay, and also I'll show you how did we span this all clear button to 2 columns, and also this equal button and this screen to whole column. Okay, so first I will create the grid system in it. So first I'll create a div by the name of calculator, by the class name actually, that is calculator background. Okay, and in this div I'll have another div by the name of, by the class name calculator background main. Okay, and in here first what would I have? I will first create the screen that I show you, this screen. Okay, so for that I'm naming this screen div as class name calculator background main screen. Okay, and in here we will have 2 subdivs as well. And why we need 2 subdiv? Because let me show you. If we type something, you can see that we have this ongoing typing, and as well as we have results as well. So for that we'll have a first screen and another second screen, and both the screen will be in our main screen div. Okay, so the first screen will show you the ongoing process and the second screen will show you the result. Okay, so that's how it works, the basic idea behind it. Okay, so let me go to our Visual Studio Code, and in here we'll create 2 subdivs. First will be calculator background main screen first. Okay, and another div, but the name will be here second. Okay, so now we have created our first row, that is calculator big background main screen, and now we will create another rows. Okay, so for that I'll have to use buttons to make these number buttons and operator buttons. Okay, so for that I'll just type button, and the class name will be for the first all clear button, I'm naming it calculator background main AC, and the content will be AC in it. Okay, and now we will have around 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 and 18 buttons. Okay, so we will have to create 18 buttons. So let's go to our code editor, and in here I will copy this first button by shift alt and down arrow key, copy paste. So 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 and 18. So we have now 18 buttons, and now we will change the content and also the class names as well. So the second button is as delete, so we will name it del, the class name, and the content also will be changed as del. The third button is operator button, so we will name it as operator. So all the operator buttons will share the same class as class background main operator, and all the number buttons will share the same class. Okay, so in operator the first one is divide. So what I will do, that I will fast forward this process so that you don't get bored. Okay, so now you can see that we have our buttons ready now. Okay, so we have num class as for our number buttons, we have operator class name, although we have these this whole class name as our class name, but I'm specifying the special names for special buttons. So for operator we have operator, for numbers we have num, for all clear we have AC, for del we have del. Okay, and for decimal I have also named it under num class, and specified another class decimal in case if we use this decimal in future. Okay, and the result class name is specified for this equal button. Okay, and now if I run it with our live server, first let me click this watch says. Okay, and now if I run it with live server, let's see how does it look like. You can see this is our whole grid system, and our task is to make this look like this. Okay, the whole this, and I will show you how can we perform that. Okay, so go to our editor, and in here first let me link our style.css. So I will just link and first I will go to my config.cs, and in here I will select some variables. Okay, so in config.cs I'll be declaring some variables, and also I will import the font as well. And for this project I'm using Monstret for that I'll use from Google font. So let me go to the Google font first. And here search for the Monstret. There it is. Go here. And I'll be using 300. Yes, there it is. 400, 500 and 600 weight font. So for embedding I'll use the import. I will copy it and paste it in our config.cs. Okay, so we are all done with the font, and I will declare some variables, some color variables, and also the font weight. So first I will declare a background first. So for this project, if you have noticed that I am using gradients for each and every screen. Like for background I have this dark blue and the light blue, and also for the screen of the calculator, and for the buttons I have dark orange, and towards the end we have light orange, and also for the calculator background we have light black and then the dark black. Okay, so I'm using gradients for that. So that's why I have specified the name as background first, and the second will be background second, and the color code is let me see, DSFFFB. Okay, and the third is calc background first. The color code is 232323. Okay, and the fourth one is calc background second, and the code is #000. And the fourth is, and the next is I'll say is button. That this is for button background first, and the color code is FF6F21. Okay, the next gradient is button background second, and the color code is FF9257. Okay, and the last color is color for our button text, and that is simple. I'm using black. So if you want to change the colors, you can directly change it from config.cs. That's why I'm using those variables. Okay, and for the font weight I'll use this key value pair. First will be our light, and it will be 300. Second will be our regular, and it will be 400. Third one will be our medium, and it will be 500. And the last one will be bold, and it will be 600. Okay, and also let me do some basic styling, like margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. Okay, and now we go to our style.cs file here. Okay, So in here I will first import our config sass. So to import, just type import and config.scss. okay, and now in here I will style the body with width as 100% and height as 100 vertical height, and font family that I will use will be, let me copy it from the Google font, Monsterate sans serif, and background image. So background image I'll have linear gradient, okay, and that will be to right, and the first color in the gradient will be background first, that dark blue color as I saw you earlier, and the second color for the gradient will be background second. Okay, and now if we take a look on the browser, the changes has not been applied, and why is that? Okay, so it says that import config.sass. Oh, by mistake I think I have put the extension as well, but we don't need to do that. Okay, and now if you see, you can see that our gradients have been applied, and also the margin padding are gone as we set in our config.sass. okay, and now we move forward. So first I will select this calculator background class div. Okay, so calculator background, and I will display it as flex. Height will be 100% of the available height, and width also will be 100% of the available. Justify content as center. Let me show you the browser. You can see justify content has been centered, and now in here I will select the main div. Okay, this main div, and inside this, so this main div we will set it to display grid, because all the elements that we need for the calculator are inside this main div. Okay, so this div is very important. Okay, so to select that I will just type end and the underscore, double underscore, and main. So that's why I named it like that. The name matches here, the name, let me show, yes, here the name matches to its parent. Okay, so that's why it is named like that. And now we have selected our main div, and in here in main div, first I will set a background image as linear gradient, direction will be to right, and the color will be, first color will be calc background first, and the second color will be calc background second. Okay, and width will be 250 pixels, height will be max content as the max content fits. Okay, let me show you how does it look like. So this is how for now it looks like, and now we will set the border radius as 25 pixels, and now the main thing, display as grid. Okay, and justify content center. Okay, and margin will be auto to top and bottom, and left and right 0. Okay, and now we need to specify the grid template columns. So for that I'll just type grid template columns. So we will have like 4 columns as I told you earlier as well. So for that I'll just type repeat. So you need to have a basic grid knowledge, okay, to understand all these things. So I'll have 4 columns and each column will of height 54 pixels. And for rows I will type grid template rows, and as I told you earlier that we will have 6 rows, so I'll just say 6. And in here what I'll do, I will use min max. Okay, so minimum height of the row will be 54 pixels and max can go to auto. And why I am doing it, because let me show you. So this is how our calculator has started looking like. Although we are missing the screen, I will show you how to bring it back. So for now our question was, why do we need auto height? Because let me go to our final project. As we can see in here, the screen is not certain height. We can have, like, if we type a lot of numbers, the height should be like changeable. Okay, the height should the screen height should change according to the number we put inside it. Okay, so it should not be only as 54 pixels. If it is required, it should change the height as well. So that's why we have put auto as well for the height. Okay, so now let me go to our this project, and in here what we need is this all clear button should span till this 7 button, and also this equal button should span to the last. Okay, and we need the screen also. So for that, first let me set grid gap as 5 pixels and padding as 30 pixels. Okay, so grid gap 5 pixels and padding also is been set. And now inside our main div we have our screen div, and the other than that we have buttons. So first I will work on buttons. So inside main I'll select all buttons. Okay, button tag, and I will set it as border radius as 50%. Let me show you how does it look like now. So this is the border radius set as 50%. Now it has starting looking like the final project. Okay, and now after that I'll set the outline as none, border none, I don't want any border, and the font weight I will use a method that is map get to get the font weight, as I have specified the font weight key value pair. So I will just type the hash name, that is font weight, and the font weight in actual, and I will set it as medium. Now take a look, the font weight is been set to medium. And now after the font weight we need font size as 1.4 RAM I'm taking, and also I will set the background as gradient. So to set the gradient I will have to use background image, and we want linear gradient, and the direction will be to right, and the first color in the gradient will be button background first, and the second color in the gradient will be button background second. And now if we take a look, you can see our calculator has started coming into the look. And now after that, what we need is, okay, so color will be as button text. So color means the font color, okay, and the button text is set to black. Now you can see it is now black, okay. And now if we inspect it, and inside this background main, if we go to our this background calculator screen, calculator big main screen, the screen, actual screen, you see it is here. If I could show you, yes, this is the our actual screen. Now our task is to expand it to whole column, okay. So we will do it, no problem. But before that, what we want is, if we hover over to our button, okay, so the background image should have linear gradient to right, okay. But instead of the second color as button background second, we need both the colors same, okay. So I will set first color button background first, and also the second color, okay. And after that, we are now done with buttons. Now it's time to go for the screen. So I'll select the screen div, and in screen div first I will set the display as flex. But before that, let me show you one thing. Before that, what I'll do, I will set grid column 1 to -1. That means it will start from the first point, and it will go till the last column, okay. So if we inspect, so if we see that our buttons has started coming into structure, and we have the screen left for our screen div size left. If I could inspect it, you can see if I hover over the screen div, we have now our screen div. You are not able to see it right now because we haven't assigned any color, background color to it. As soon as we assign, you can see it, okay. So for that, I will set background image as linear gradient, and the direction will be to the right. The first color will be background first, the same color that we used in screen background, and the second color will be background second, okay. And now if we take a look, now you can see. And now what we have to do is we have to assign some border radius to it. So for that, I will just type border radius to 20 pixels, okay. And also we will assign some more styling to it. First, margin bottom, I will say it 5 pixels. We need some space bottom of the screen also. And also I will set the screen as display flex, and align
items as flex end. And why do we need that? Because if I show you the final project, if I type something, you can see that it starts from the end. That's why we needed the flex and flex end property, so that it could start from the end. Okay, so we have assigned the align items, and now we want some padding as 7 pixels, and also in here I will say I will need some justify content as well as flex end. Okay, and after that what we need is we need a word break property. And what is word break? So I'll set it to break all. So what is word break is, you might have noticed that if we type many elements, how does it break the next number that doesn't fit to the screen? So that is called the word break. Okay, and after word break I will have now the main property, display as grid. And now why do we need grid inside grid for the screen? Because we have 2 sub divs as its children inside this screen div. Okay, and as I explained you earlier, that the first div will maintain the stream of numbers operators, and the second div will give you the result. Okay, so that's why we need to set those divs as well, so we will display those as grid. Okay, so inside the screen I will say grid template rows at repeat. We have 2 rows, the first screen, the second screen inside the main screen. So we have 2, and I'll set it to auto. So whatever the element, whatever the number, set it to according to its height. Okay, and now inside the first div, the first screen, first let me select it, and I will set it as margin margin left as auto, font size I will set it to 1.5 RAM, and font weight as map get. I will get the font from our config as. The name of hash map is font weight, and I will set it as bold. Okay, and same for our second child div, which is second as the class name. Also for that, margin left will be 0, font size will also be 1.2 RAM for it, and font weight will be map get font weight regular. So for now you let me okay, so it shows that it is showing that it has some error in it, and it is, I didn't mean to colon it. We don't need to colon it. Okay, and now what I was saying, that right now you won't be able to see the results and the font weight for the both screen, because we haven't done any JavaScript work yet. But for now, let me assign some dummy text in our HTML itself. So for in first screen I will say 456, and plus 125, and in second screen I will some dummy text as well. So now you can see that the first screen is working properly, but we have some problem in our second screen, that is it is towards the right, and it's look like we have done some mistake. Yes, in here we need to specify the margin left as auto, so that it lefts all the spaces that is on left of it. Okay, and now if we take a look, it is good, it is proper. Okay, and now we need to adjust this all clear button and also this equal button. What we need, that this all clear button should cover 2 columns, and same with the equal button. So let's fix that as well. So for that, our buttons are in. Okay, so yes, and in here I will select the first result button. Result button is for the equal, and AC button is for the AC. All clear AC means. So what I will do, I will say grid column, that is short form for the grid column start and grid column end. Okay, so I will set it to grid column as a span 2. That simply means that hey, you equal button or result button, you have to span 2 columns. You don't need 1 column. You are very VIP. You need to span 2 columns. Okay, and also I think yes, and also border radius as 20 pixels. We don't want 50% border radius for our all clear button and also for our result button. And to say that, I'll have to apply the important property as well, because we have already specified the border radius for our buttons, that was 50%. If I could show you here, yes, in here border is 50%. Now again we have to, if we want to change, it will ask for the important tag. And now for the all clear, same, but grid column will be 1 for starting and 3. So what it basically means, like start from the 1 and go till the third column line, not third column. Okay, and also the border radius 20 pixels, important. And now if we take a look, you can see that we are all done with it, but there is still something missing in it. If I see the final result, we have some padding, but in it we don't have anything. Why? So problem is that width will be 285 pixels, not 250 pixels if we look for the final project. Now both are same. Okay, so this was our HTML and CSS work, styling work.